Hey, hi, how are you? My name's Felt. Welcome back to Match at the Gathering Arena. Today we're playing Dimir Domain. This isn't a real deck. This is a homebrew of just some weird stuff. I'm not gonna lie. This deck's whole purpose is to draw a massive amount of cards and be silly as a result of it, playing a very controlling playstyle. This deck was basically inspired by the fact that Dimir is incredibly powerful in Pioneer, and I was trying to think of a way to maybe pull that into Standard. Now, we're missing a lot of the key things that makes Dimir, goodness, words are hard, so powerful in Pioneer. Narset Barter fails to shut off card draw, doesn't exist, but we do have a slight alternative with Fairy Mastermind, making us just draw more cards. We don't have a Shark Typhoon, but we are making up for that by having a bunch of different Planeswalkers that make a bunch of tokens, such as Kaido, Sorin, and Teferi. Our board wipes aren't quite as good, but we do have a very powerful one in Drag to the Bottom, which gets around a lot of stuff that makes stuff indestructible, which is moderately common at the moment. It does suffer against Pump Go Big strats, but that's why we run Path of Peril. And that's another thing that inspired the Domain synergies. That's it, by the way. The Domain synergy is we run Drag to the Bottom. And we have these lands for cycling. We have 3 copies of Spar's Headquarters, simply because Spar's Headquarters has blue on it, and we want a lot of blue mana. That's why we also run a bunch of Raffine's and Xander's Lounges. Jetmir's Garden is solely for Domain synergies. It's not here for any other reason, it's just for domains. Zeotor's at least has black mana on it. We also run 2 Mirexes, because that synergizes very well with stuff like Kaido Dancing Shadow. A Planeswalker that I feel like hasn't really seen enough play. The way that you can just lock people out of a game with Kaido Dancing Shadow is ridiculous. I have won several games into mid-rangey aggro piles of white and green by just having both my Kaidos out on board. I realize that's a huge investment, 7 mana, but you're playing a control deck. Getting to 7 mana isn't that crazy. But getting both of them out on board and using one or the other Kaido to make a token to attack in, and then I get to basically make 2 of my opponent's creatures not be able to attack. And that can be very impactful when we're running lots of removal spells with the Cut Downs, the Go for Throats, Infernal Grasp, March. And the fact that most of our creature threats are flash speed things means that our board wipes are much more prevalent. We do still run Graveyard Trespasser because Graveyard Hate is very important right now. Being able to get rid of anything your opponent wants to revive from the graveyard can be incredibly impactful. Plus, people just don't like this card. It's kind of a kill on sight card, which surprises me considering it's good but not amazing. I've had a lot of games where I basically just get free card advantage off of people trying to kill my Graveyard Trespasser, and then I flash in like a Fairy Mastermind, or just play Teferi on the next turn, and my opponent's like, this is bad. But that's the general idea of the deck. Oh, one last fun fact. We do have an Invasion of Furor way up here on the top. That's one of the reasons for Render Inert. This is also an anti-Planeswalker spell that, unlike Shieldred's Edict, does target, meaning that if you're running into, say, a Kaya that your opponent is playing, Render Inert won't be as good, but Render Inert does also hit your battle, so you can flip it and get the Marchesa ASAP. If you're running into stuff like Kaya, though, you're probably using your negates and disdainful strokes on that anyways. But overall, the deck's, it's fun. I don't think I consider it good. I consider it kind of a hodgepodge of random nonsense, but to be fair, that's a lot of what Dimir Control ends up being when I play it, either in Pioneer or in Standard. But let's hop right into things and see how this deck does. We go first. I don't like this. We will mulligan. I like this a lot more. Drop one of the cut downs. I'm sorry, opponent, I must mute you. I've run into one too many salty gamer boys or girls on the ladder lately, and I've gotten into the habit of just muting people. They do have counter magic up. Let's see if they have it. Sorry, they don't have counter magic up. They have the ability to have counter magic up. It's probably 5-color domain. It's probably Atraxa. Yeah, it's probably Atraxa. Let me think about what I want to do here. This is most likely Atraxa. Alright, getting a land makes me feel much better. Even if it is tapped. Let's play Kaido and start doing our thing.
There are many secrets I don't know. Our eyes are everywhere.
We do have March, Exiling, Cut Down, in order to hit a very, very large target. We can also cut down the Scrap Gorger, which I'm assuming they're playing because they don't have any... Yep. I'm assuming they're doing that because they're whiffing land drops, and they are. meaning that their game plan is absolutely get out Atraxa ASAP, which is not terrible for us. They're still 2 turns away from it. We will play this. We will play this.
You know, I've always got
swing.
Nobody knows the past better than
Plus
me.
and draw.
Now this is a juicy secret.
I hope they don't have an Invasion of Zendikar in their hand. They always do, though. Alright, depending on what they attack, we might let one of these things die. I don't think we can let Teferi die. I think Teferi is much too valuable. But it is tempting. Yeah, unfortunately, they know what to attack. Alright.
Nice to see a familiar face.
Alright, let's go ahead and draw a discard.
Thanks.
I really think this Graveyard Trespasser is no longer worthwhile. The draw discard wasn't for Kaido, it was for this trigger right here. I think the Graveyard Trespasser is no longer worthwhile. We now have a 4/4 blocker. Pretty lovely. Unfortunately, my opponent will probably start having Leyline Bindings. Oh, it's just a Tally. Oh, I thought it would be something much more interesting than a Tally. You want to trade for the 4/4, buddy? Yeah, let's go for it. I was expecting a Traxo. Also, please take my trash talking lightly. I'm just very tired of lots of people running the Italia Traxa style deck nonsense. Because 9 times out of 10, it's not really a deck so much as it is a collection of cards that will ramp to Italian Atraxa. There's no theming. There's no, like, gameplay loop. It's just kind of, I can play domain synergies. I can play Itali. We can now at least single cycle. I wish we could have double cycled here. That would have been really nice. Soren, you are lovely, but I don't think you're gonna make the cut here, buddy. I think I would much rather just cycle some stuff and maybe go hunting down some counter spells. I really need to find the counter spells more than anything right now. So I think just drawing as many cards as I possibly can is the greatest decision here. Oh my goodness, I don't think I've ever whiffed quite so hard on counter magic. I know I don't have a ton of it, but goodness gracious, game. Plus side, this is now a 9/9. That pause makes me think they do have a... Wasn't expecting a Sunfall, but hey, I'll take it. We just want to draw cards. We're still just hunting for any number of other things. We will minus both of these things. They can flip that all they like. It doesn't actually do anything yet. Negate. Lovely. Doesn't do a good against, like, an Atali or something like that, but it does do good into lots of other cards that they would want to draw. We'll go ahead and slam the Soren, because a collection of Planeswalkers can be quite difficult for a lot of decks to really get a handle on. We will reveal that, because I have no problems revealing a Murex.
Nothing on Innistrad is free.
We do have our Infernal Grasp. We also have our March of Wretched Sorrow here. I am feeling pretty good. Reach! No! See what I mean? See what I mean about these people? Yeah, and there they go. I swear. I'm getting on my high horse for a second. Please hop up on my high horse with me, dear viewers. The number of people I see running what are essentially lottery machine decks blows my mind. The I just slam Atali and hope for the best, or I slam Breach and hope to hit an Atali decks. I'm not going to say that Atali and Breach were design decisions. I am saying that they do promote a gameplay loop of ramp as fast as possible, plaything, hope to steal cool cards. No, don't get me wrong, that's existed before, Agent of Treachery, but man. How easy it is with how many ramp cards there are in Standard right now. I am just a wee bit tired of it. But hey, they did play their deck well, they did do their thing. I can't fault the play style, I can just fault the game design. GG's opponent. Opponent goes first, and I'm surprisingly okay with this hand. Why do I say that? Because we can actually Mirrex turn 1 to cut something down if we need to. Or we can use, Mirrex turn 1 to march something. Which, as much as that doesn't make me happy, I can do it. I think Ashnod is worth a cut down. Goodbye, Ashnod. I will say, I saw that land and I was terrified, just terrified that it was just going to be blue-black proliferating poison control and I would not have a good time. Looks like my opponent is trying something a little different, and I just respect them for it. Is this just human tribal? That's so cool. This is just human tribal, oh my goodness. We can discard this Kaido. Or I think the Graveyard Trespasser is something I would... bonk. I think the Graveyard Trespasser is something I would rather get rid of in that exact instance. And then we can play Kaido after this and maybe start rolling off of this. This could be... Joda Tribal. This could be Joda Tribal. I have seen a handful of those decks oot in a boot, so to speak. They will not be able to play Joda, so I don't have to worry about that getting punked. So like, wow, I can draw all my cycle lands. That's what I can draw. Eesh. I'll probably have to start plussing Kaido here if I don't draw removal.
I was expecting a little more.
I will have to.
You can't fight.
I'd like to make a creature, but 3 cycle lands ain't it, Chief.
This is a juicy secret.
3 cycle lands, I will just use Kaido's pluses to cycle said lands. I'm starting to think this is just like a 5-color Joda deck, which would be very cool. I'd respect it. I haven't seen it but a handful of times. This is a-okay. Alright, we can plus on this. I think that's the play here. Yeah, because they can't plus on themselves.
That should be.
We can draw a discard. Infernal Grasp, you are my lord and savior. I wish that I had an untapped land here, but we can Infernal Grasp whatever. If they put something on the stack, we can Infernal Grasp Pilana and Elena. Otherwise, we will Infernal Grasp whatever they target, maybe? Well, yeah. If they're gonna do that, I will just kill Helana and Elena. I will prevent them from getting any more plus counters. Teferi, my love. I wish, but it cannot be. I don't have enough lands to play Teferi. I'll make a vampire. We will just plus on Lagrella, and then we'll make a ninja token. This is very scary. I don't actually have any interaction in hand. I'm trying to bluff here, but the lack of everything is going to give me away. I do have basically 3 pieces of card draw there. I was right, it is Joda! Oh, I'm so proud of my opponent. That's a cool and interesting idea. We'll chump block with this so that we can swing with that. And then maybe draw exactly what we need. Cut down, you are not it, Chief. We will reveal that to get it out of the way. We will swing with you. We will do that, actually.
Take it easy.
We will draw our little hearts out.
Now this is a juicy secret.
We will draw our little hearts out and not find anything, and now we will probably die as a result. But you never know. They could get really focused on the Planeswalkers and let me live. I do have 1 counterspell. I was really hoping I would find a board wipe in there. I have the white mana that I need in order to play Path of Peril as a true board wipe. Okay, math is hard. Let's do some math. This is 12, 15. I will not die if I do this. But if they have another creature that they get off of this that kills me, I might die off of this. It all depends on what 2-drop they're hitting. Oh, they paid out! Oh, that's wonderful! Okay, we have a chance. We have a chance. What did they hit? They hit another Dinnick, it looks like, which I don't believe they would want to cast because they would lose their original Dinnick. They can kill off 3 of my Planeswalkers. Are they casting? Oh no, opponent! What was that about? Please keep the new one. Keep the new one. Yeah, just do it. Keep the new one. Come on. Come on, keep the new one. You know you wanna. Dang it. If I were them, honestly, I'd just beat down face. I do get why you want to take out that Kaido. It can make Death Touchers. But, like, you're just giving me so much time, opponent. You're giving me so many turns to draw into what I need. I'm not going to lie. I think that was a big honkin' mistake. As we are now witnessing. I think that absolutely was not the correct play for my
I'll
opponent.
be taking that now.
I think that was a big honkin' mistake. I think they should have kept the pressure on. I really think they should have kept the pressure on. Oh no, opponent. We can also make a Mirex token if they blow this up somehow. And start regaining our hand size. Lana and Elena is not bad for us, but it's not good for us. We do want to kill her ASAP. Because that is a hasten. No! Ah, man, what are you doing? Okay, well, we will just Path of Peril again, I guess. We might not have to. We might draw a card. No? No blocks? Maybe they thought I had a combat trick. I really don't. I'm just kind of drawing cards.
There's no secret I can't uncover.
That worked. We are pretty low on our deck because of just rummaging half of it into the graveyard. Moments like this are when I wish a commit to memory was in standard. Headline. We will flash this bad boy in. We will resolve the trigger. We will see what they play as a result. What are they going to do now? They have red, black, and green. We're going to both draw cards, but I will draw an extra card. I will draw more cards than your card draw. It's very cool, isn't it? I may have given them a land, which wouldn't be my favorite thing to have done. We will kill off Hajar here. If we don't kill off Hajar here, things just kind of start going downhill for us. We'll just swing with the ninja, because that's all we care about. We will draw an card. We will get a Hullbreaker Horror, and we will probably take over the game from here. This is one of those weird times when Render Inert becomes an S-tier card. As long as they don't hit a Joda. Don't hit a Joda. Don't hit a Joda. Don't hit a Joda. Please, for the love of God, don't hit a Joda. All is right in the world. We will win now. All they have is one green. I believe, at best, they would have Tyvar's Stand. They've already committed their attack. We have a Hullbreaker Horror. I hope you like Hullbreaker Horrors. He's a cool card. He's a beefy boy. He's one crackeny man.
Fine. I'll find
They do get to investigate off of that. However, I'm not exactly scared. Because I can, like, bounce everything under the sun.
I bring order to this broken.
And do really weird stuff like that. That's a personal favorite of mine that I really enjoy doing. Is the super janky... Oh no, we can attack. The super weird and janky target your land with Render Inert, because technically speaking it is a legal target.
There's no secret I can't
And so because it's a legal target, you draw a card and you can trigger Hullbreaker Horror, and there's the scoop. I absolutely think my opponent threw the game right out the window by attacking all my Planeswalkers. I think that it was one of two choices there, and I think they were just so worried about card advantage and me finding a board wipe, but I had already used them for so much card advantage that I had either found the board wipe or wasn't going to find the board wipe in time. So I think putting on the pressure and just beating me down and making me make more defensive plays might have been the right decision. I don't know. I'm not the best with these go big and stomp down decks personally, so I can't say for sure, but I think the best choice was hitting me in the face a bunch, because I would have gone down to like 7 life and been a lot more scared, instead of just being like, oh, I have 23 life, I can just kind of wing it and just like keep drawing my way to a board wipe. But that's just my opinion. You can leave yours down in the comment, I guess. GG, 5-color Joda human thing. We're going first. Pretty okay with this, actually. I keep getting the Lord of the Rings thing here. I'm very happy about it. It's so pretty and calming. I'm pretty okay with this because if we're into like an aggro-y deck, we'll probably get Path of Peril down fast enough to board wipe them. And if we're into a more controlling matchup, we'll probably get Kaido down fast enough that it doesn't matter, and we'll just like out card draw them. Into mono black though, I'm a bit more concerned. And what do I immediately say mono black? Not a ton of decks play basic swamps. Ah, where's off? Well, I'm scared that they are holding up a Shieldred's Edict, but there has been no cryo stick. They're holding up a cut down. That's what it is. That's fine. What do I know that it's a cut down? The second I summoned up my little ninja token. Oh, it's a March. It was one of the 1 mana removal spells. It was one of those things. Alright, well, if my opponent is just going to let me pop off. Decline to reveal that in this exact instance, because then we can keep it a secret, because we're drawing it with Kaido anyways. Is that important? No. Yes! That gasp and yes was more for a,
Blood for knowledge.
1, 2, 3.
There's no secret I can't uncover.
I was counting to make sure that I had at least 5 mana, because with Fairy Mastermind being able to be flashed in and make disappear back up, I am feeling very confident. I think the only thing that kills my Fairy Mastermind here is like a cut down, because I have make disappear back up, meaning now that I can draw cards with impunity with Kaido. And my opponent scoops because they're stuck on 3 lands into a deck that's about to draw half their deck, most likely. I get it. GG's. We are going first with the most unkeepable hand of all unkeepable hands. Much better. Okay, it's just that easy. Opponent goes first. We have 2 board wipes, March, and Trespasser. I'm going to really hope that this is not about to be Athalia on turn 2, because I will be very, very sad. It's not Athalia! All is well. We'll be fine. We'll Path of Peril them in a second here. This might just be straight soldiers, I'm not sure. It is an Adeline deck. Shoot. We will save ourselves some pain. This will kill Adeline if we play Xander's Lounge. If we don't, it doesn't kill her. Which is very unfortunate, because we basically are having to hope and pray now. Because a deck like this could absolutely kill me if I'm not careful. Please just play more creatures out. Oh, they think it's safe! Oh, the poor child! Drag to the bottom is -X, which is not the same as dealing damage. And this isn't that much damage. 7, 8, 9 points of damage. That is not pleasant, but it's not the end of the world. Please tell me they don't understand. Fingers crossed that they don't understand. Dang it. I've seen people just not understand how -X works and just, like, try and save the Guardian of New Benalia. This is absolutely a Mirrex Graveyard Trespasser turn, especially because it looks like all they're doing is Mishra's Foundry. Fingers crossed. Copper Card Vanguard. Honestly, this is still a Mirrex turn. We will make sure we will use that mana efficiently. I hate being that guy, I'm not gonna lie. We're gonna eat Adeline. We're holding up Negate here more than anything. I don't think they would run creatures that, like, matter, or, like, spells that matter, but there's a possibility that they do. I've seen decks like this run, like, Fateful Absence for some reason. It's not really for some reason, quote-unquote. It's... The reason is, fun fact, Path of Peril, like, annihilates them. And we still get to hold up Negate. Because this is a 3 mana spell, and these are both 2 or 1 mana spells. Ain't that something? And they don't have enough mana to activate Recruitment Officer. Swing in, start going om nom 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 nom. We'll take away the Vanguard. I wonder if they have Wandering Emperor and that's why they're so fidgety. That would be interesting. Guardian of New Benalia, not exactly a scary card. At least they seem to be taking an obvious effort to use Guardian of New Benalia like, correctly, and not just, like, always holding up, Sorin stabilizes us so freaking well here. I make one life linger, and all of a sudden all their attacks in are now, like, just silly bad. I think we swing with both. We keep eating away at the graveyard. Nom nom. Fairy Mastermind is swinging in because there's no reason not to. If they discard to make Guardian of Benalia indestructible... Okay, I was like, I don't think they're silly enough to do that, but they could be. If they power up the Foundry, I'm absolutely cutting it down. What is my opponent playing? Adeline. A little annoying, but we can make sure Sorin doesn't die here. You cannot enlist Adeline because she has summoning sickness, fun fact. Enlist, as I found out the hard way several times, it is without summoning sickness. I think they're finding that out the hard way. So that they now have to discard a card to make sure their Guardian of Benalia does not die. Awkward! And we can make them dump their hand here. So now they have nothing in hand. If they want that Guardian of Benalia to live. That's why we were just holding up the cut down. I really didn't think that they were holding up too much interaction over there. Oh, what a beautiful set of hits. Oh my goodness, yes. Now let's pause and see what we hit. Oh, we'll just reveal that. I don't give a shit. I'm killing off their Adeline. Goodbye, Adeline. Sweet Adeline. Ba, ba, ba. That's not in the song. Also, I'm gonna get DMCA'd for that somehow. Yeah, fun fact, the bump bump bum is not in the actual original song. Yeah, that's just a thing people sing. They cannot activate that yet. They cannot make sure Guardian of Benalia stays death-free, so to speak. I mean, you can enlist and scry, but your Guardian will die. They can power up the Mishra's Foundry as well if they just want to really be aggro. Sorin literally cannot die here, though. There's actually no set of math here that prevents Sorin from dying. Or that, sorry, that makes Sorin die. All the math here prevents Sorin from dying. Duh. I think they're desperately trying to figure out, how do I do this? How does this math out? Which, I mean, you know, math's hard. Math is for blockers, after all. But I am the blocker. Oh, shoot, that does cause problems. I'm trying to figure out how to do this, and make the Guardian of Benalia, like, lethal to Sorin, but she's not. They do get to scry, too, but I'm about to swing in and, beat their butt, so to speak. I don't mind that at all, by the way. It's very much A-okay. Let's reveal the top card. I have no problems revealing a Make Disappear here.
Blood for knowledge.
We will draw a discard. I think we have hit the point where we know that negate is not actually good. And I will let Day-Night flip to make my graveyard Glutton a 4/4, which I think is much more important than anything else. This also means that if they try and do a Knight Errant of Eos, they actually don't have the mana, which is really tough. I do wish that that was a card draw effect, but it's really not, and I'm really sad. Alright, let's make a Mirrex token. Let's cycle a card, maybe we'll find more removal. That's not more removal, darn. That is more removal! Boop. Let's go hunting for even more removal, because we have lethal here if we find it. Reveal, because we just need to get it out of the way, there's no reason to draw it.
I know something you don't know.
We can cycle one more card to see if we can't find lethal. We found it! Hit him with a good game, because I will also be eating up your recruitment officers. Bonk, 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 bonk. GG's! I'm very happy of how I pulled that one out at the end. That was a tough one. Will I finally win a game? Find out next time. This message brought to you by the fact that I just lost, I believe, 4 games in a row to random jank decks because I just didn't realize that they were jank decks. It's a really weird feeling to lose to Jank simply because you didn't expect it. Random Orzhov nonsense. Well, let's get Fairy Mastermind killed. Why do I phrase it like that? Because I can't imagine anything else happening. I stand corrected, though. Living strong and thriving. Look at him go. This is really one of my favorite cards to come out of this set. No! Did I need to do that? No. No, I didn't. But it does make it so that Sorin survives, which is moderately good. And because we now know that they're playing that, and we're trying to use that to draw a card, I'm trying to dump my hand even faster. Oh my goodness, a second Fairy Mastermind. This is amazing. I don't feel the need to reveal that card.
Blood for knowledge. A fair trade.
We have two options. We could flash in this if they try and draw cards, which might not be a bad idea. Let's go ahead and do this now. Because now we will get to draw 2 cards off of this. My opponent will get their Shieldred, they'll think everything is hunky-dory, and then I'll go for the Throated on the upkeep. We could drag to the bottom, I don't think that's worthwhile. Kaido's a good card. Don't really know if I want to play him yet. We'll reveal that, just to kind of strike fear into the heart of my opponent.
Very well.
Am I gonna do it? No, probably not. Would it be funny to do it? Yeah, absolutely. I'd lose both my creatures, though. We're just holding up Make Disappear now. We will sack this to the Make Disappear if I have to. I have no qualms about that. Phyrexian Arena. I guess my opponent really wants me to draw cards. Go and get rid of that. Let's make them think they're safe. We're going to deck ourselves at this rate. We have 2 triggers to draw extra cards, opponent. Would you like to respond to my triggers to draw extra cards? I don't know if they thought they were legendary or they thought they didn't stack, but those absolutely stack. And I was going to draw 2 cards on their turn every turn. GG's. Opponent goes first. We're vibing. Generous Visitor. We are no longer vibing. We're vibing a little bit. Drag to the bottom will hopefully survive long enough to be good. Alright, I have to get rid of Kaido now, and I'm very upsetty spaghetti. Why do I have to get rid of Kaido? Otherwise March doesn't hit for enough damage. On the plus side, drag to the bottom will hit for full value. Oh wait, no it won't! We're missing a blue source. That's my bad. We're actually missing blue mana. Oh, did my opponent not have anything? My opponent didn't have anything. That's really good for me. Considering that just gained me a bunch of life. It looked like they were trying to double spell something, but they didn't have it. Alright, we just gotta pray that we don't die immediately. Fingers crossed. Just play Calyx. Yeah, just play Calyx. Thank the lords above. We're going down to 10, but we're not going down to 10 because they misplayed. You should really just be doing as much damage as possible over their opponent. And you shouldn't be giving me any leeway if I'm playing Control that runs Celestis. I mean, hey, they could still have it, right? They could slam another Calyx. Wow, that's great, thank you. That's fun. Go and draw a card.
Running from battles.
Ah, the Feral, nice. We're gonna cut this down before it grows anymore. They can technically clone stuff with Calyx here still, but I'm not really scared anymore. Path of Peril will be rough, but yeah. I will say, I'm going to get ossified here, and I'm very sad about it. Invasion of Theros. So the best they're getting here is nothing. I am praying to every god, old and new, that they don't draw a land.
I am here to learn.
Please don't draw a land, opponent, come on. For Come on, be greedy. Oh, this bitch. Oh, they got greedy! Oh, opponent, you're playing control. They run make disappear nowadays. Oh, my opponent just threw away the game on that one. Alright, let's go ahead and kill that. My opponent just threw away the game. Oh, I feel so bad for them. They had that in the bag. Why am I doing that? Because why not? 3 mana, kill 1 creature. There's been worse things in Standard. This is just in case they try and play a 4-drop. Hey, that's a 4-drop. We are just going to draw as many cards as possible.
There is much the past can teach us.
I want to eat the Heliod. There he is. This won't really be good for me, but it pumps my stuff up. And I hit for more, so we might be able to pull this out. Heliod gets back like an ossification, but what do you... I have a 4-4 and a 5-5 swinging at you, buddy. What exactly are your plans about the yet? Yeah, like your Heliod has to die. You have to hope that you get around my counter spells, and yeah. Yeah, you can see I dropped ranks a lot here. We'll talk about that in the outro. Either way, GG's enchantments. So how did it perform? Well, in my testing, I won 5 in a row. In my recording, I won 7, lost 5. So overall is about 12 and 5 or something like that, or maybe like 12 and 6. Overall, it's very draw dependent. It does a lot better on the draw, like most control decks will typically do. It doesn't fall behind too terribly. I think the mana base needs a lot of tweaking, though. I think while Drag to the Bottom is great, I could probably get away with it only doing -4/-4 in most matchups. But at the same time, I really like it being able to go all the way up to 5 so it can hit Shieldred. So it's kind of a toss-up. Could potentially just drop Jetmir's Garden for another Zeotor's Proving Grounds to make sure we hit more black mana, but that's a whole other argument about tinkering and toying with mana bases. Overall, I think the deck's still good, though. I did run into some really frustrating counter matchups. It seems to really be more of a mid-rangey deck than a control deck like I originally set out to make, which is unfortunate, but I suppose if you really wanted to make a true control deck, drop Render Inert, drop Graveyard Trespasser, slam in counter spells out the wazoo, and then you probably have just like a full control deck. Potentially even drop the Fairy Masterminds. They really only serve to make Kaido better. So honestly, you could probably drop Fairy Mastermind and Render Inert, and potentially this Kaido, to be completely honest. Slot in more counter spells, and maybe an extra Hullbreaker Horror as a result of having more counter spells. Overall, though, I do think the deck's very, very good. I do think it survives aggro decks very, very well. You have lots of removal. March and Cut Down will take care of you for the early turns, and if you can reach it, Path of Peril and Drag to the Bottom will take care of any late game threats for the most part. Overall, though, I think it's very good. I think it's very strong. I do think it has its problems like any deck like this, and you'll absolutely go through losing stumps just like you always do, because I swear, the Arena Matchmaker likes to make you win a bunch and then lose a bunch back-to-back for some unknown reason. Either way, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on the video. That helps out the channel a lot, and I hope to catch you in the next one.